Welcome, everybody. It's Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. It is our 73rd show, and we have not missed a Saturday night since the pandemic began. And it's amazing how it just grows. And tonight, it's always special. Once every 3 months, we're blessed to have Teresa Collins and Global Coherence and her merry band of mischief makers. And that's who we've got tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. In a few minutes, Debra will tell you all about who we've got on the show, and we'll introduce Teresa. But a reminder for those of you on our Zoom room, tell us where you're from. And for all of you watching on Facebook or the YouTube channels, hey, come on into the Zoom room with us. That's where it's easier for us to interact with you, easier for you to interact with all of our amazing presenters and performers. And it's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. It takes about a minute. And what's good about that also is then we get your email address. We only use it for ourselves, but you'll get announcements about upcoming shows and also how to access the replays, not only of today's show, but of 72 amazing previous shows that we've done. So go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. I really want to thank Wendy Grace, who's the sponsor of tonight's show. I also want to thank Jane Mayer, our executive producer, and of course, Teresa Collins does an amazing job of putting together the show when we collaborate with her every 3 months. And now she's back from Costa Rica, better than ever before, my partner, Debra Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to our 73rd show. We're right in the middle of season 6, An Incredible Mix, and that's July through September. And we're so happy that you're joining us. And thank you all for all your donations. When you register on Zoom, and we now have a new donation portal that is tax deductible. So thank you so much for your donations. We do this by donation, and we really appreciate and respect all the green love that you give us so we can continue to produce these shows every single week. And this is going to be another amazing show in collaboration with our co-host, Teresa Collins of Global Coherence Pulse. Teresa has been producing a show for us each season, and it's always amazing. And this one, again, is going to be like that. Our theme for tonight is new science, new story, and new song. And yes, we've all been through a lot during this very radical year and a half on our planet. And on Saturday Night Alive, we always acknowledge that along with the challenges that we go through personally and collectively, it's also a very evolutionary time. And for many of us, we understand that this time is very fertile, and it's during these challenging times when amazing new possibilities can take root and emerge. And on Saturday Night Alive, we acknowledge and empower those potential possibilities of this new earth that's birthing now. So there is a new science, an inspiring new story, and we are giving birth to a new song. The emerging new science is a cosmology of consciousness and love, and it tells a story of interconnectedness and meaning, and it's inviting us to a new song together that we can co-create together. Teresa Collins has brought together an amazing group of luminaries, visionaries, and leaders who will demonstrate the power of this evolution. And let's meet them now. We are so happy to have back again Gregg Braden. He's a five-time New York Times best-selling author, scientist, pioneer in the emerging new paradigm, bridging science, social policy, and human potential. His research has led to 15 film credits, 12 award-winning books, and he's now published in 40 languages. Welcome back, Gregg.
I'm so honored to be with you tonight. I'm honored to be with this community tonight. And wow, congratulations on 73 programs. I'm really excited. You know, that's the number 10, 7 and 3 and it's 10. And 10 is a very, very powerful number for this program. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Gregg. And we're also extremely happy to have Jude Currivan, a cosmologist, planetary healer, futurist, author, and previously one of the most senior business women in the UK. She's also the co-founder of Whole World View. Welcome, Jude. And we also have Michael Lindfield. He's a highly regarded mentor with over 45 years of international experience in helping unleash the creativity of the human spirit to meet the needs of our times and the soul's call for a brighter future. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here. We've got some joyful work to do together.
Wonderful. We also have Marshall Lefferts. He's a Renaissance man of many talents, assisting many evolutionary businesses and projects such as Thrive Film, the Resonance Project Foundation, Gene Keys, and much, much more. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. You did mean Marshall.
Marshall. And we have Sarah McCrum, who is the author and educator that specializes in teaching people how to transform their lives. And a significant part of her work is creating experiences for people that transform their energy through the use of words and resonance or energy transmissions. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you very much. It's really a delight to be here with you all.
And as usual, we have amazing musicians. We have True Osborne. He's a creative artist and influencer of many disciplines. He's a pillar for transformation and the creative activation of the lives of thousands of people around the world. And we're also very happy to have back again Gary Malkin. He's a multiple Emmy-winning award composer, public speaker, performer, and music wellness innovator who produces strategies for health, wellness, and a more compassionate world. He's dedicated to redefining music's role in our institutions with a support for those traversing life's significance transitions. Glad to have you back again, Gary.
So great to be here again. What wonderful company to keep. Thank you, sweetie.
And we're so pleased to have Wendy Grace with us. She is our sponsor, and she's an amazing steward and activator of the healing of the planet and its people. She has a deep passion and mission to support the awakening that's taking place now, as well as being strongly on her path. And she's going to share some incredible poetry with us tonight. And our co-host, Teresa Collins, who is the co-founder of Global Coherence Pulse, and as well as having a background of over 20 years of innovative education and community building. She's been an amazing visionary and leader during these last year and a half during COVID, offering high consciousness online experiences that touch many thousands all over the world.
Thank you so much, Debra. I love coming on these shows and spending time with you. And I have to say, your background looks beautiful and you look radiant tonight.
Yeah,
really look beautiful tonight.
Thank you so much. Yeah, a little time in Costa Rica on a spiritual retreat. Did a lot, but so glad to be back now. And as Scott said, we use this show to attract green love, to give it back out to the world so that we can support all the organizations that are doing so much good for the planet. And tonight we are supporting Global Coherence Pulse, which is a science-backed social collaboration to pulse the planet with frequencies of love and compassion, joy and appreciation, and tell the story of our interconnectedness through the power of our collective heart. Teresa's been leading this mission of love consistently, and it's been one of the positive lifelines to thousands around the globe. And she does this for free to thousands. So please support. We're going to be posting in the chat room, and it will be on our email. So please be generous and support her tonight. And now I'm going to bring Teresa on. I'm so happy to have her with us. She's an amazing woman, our co-host for tonight. She has been with Saturday Night Alive since we started. We both came together with this mission of what can we do during this important time? And she has led the Pulse month after month. It's been amazing. And she has been on this mission over the last 20 years, where she served as a leadership role in major organizations such as Barbara Marx Hubbard's Foundation for Conscious Evolution, the Gene Keys, Wisdom University, Thrive Movement, Nassim Harameyn's Resonance Science Academy. And of course, she co-founded Global Coherence Pulse. She is an evolutionary community builder. She's committed to the transformation of the planet. She is a major force of love, which is really needed on the planet now. So I'm going to turn this over to Teresa. Welcome and thank you so much, Teresa.
Thank you so much, Debra. A force of love on the planet. Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to say yes to that. I've been really feeling that I'm turning 60 in a week, and I'm really feeling like I'm in one of those moments in my own life cycle where I'm really embodying the love that I feel pouring through every cell in my body. So that's what I'm bringing to this field tonight. And we had a global coherence pulse this morning, number 40 on our list over the last year and a half. And I want to acknowledge that the global coherence pulse is a group of people that includes Claudia Wells, Roland McCready from HeartMath, Claire, also from HeartMath. Jennifer Hill is going to be joining us on the team, and Penny and Alexi, my really great teammates. I mean, we do this all out of the generosity of our heart. And so look forward to your support tonight to help just pay the expenses so that we can keep giving this gift. And I want to put in the replay from this morning, which has the exact same theme as we have tonight: the new science, the new story, and the new song. And I'm going to bring on a video of Jude Currivan soon, who was our main speaker this morning and did a meditation today that I think I'm encouraging everybody in the early show to have it be your Sunday morning treat, like your Sunday morning breakfast. If you watch the Pulse, you'd feel really supported and enriched, and it would connect in with the energy that we're generating tonight.
Your higher self will thank you for it.
Yeah, Gary was there. We'll start to bring it in. So the beginning of this show tonight, we're really just tuning into the energy from that morning pulse, where we really had this experience of how potent and important it is to come together as a global community and to learn about our potential and to practice coherence together and to pulse the planet with our love and care. So we really need it right now. So we're bringing all that energy from this morning and we're bringing it into this evening tonight, and we're going to add to it and continue to pulse the field with it. And my intention for this evening is to co-create with my friends that I've brought on and with all of you an intimate and relevant exploration and heart-centered experience, right? If we're going to take time out of our lives to come together, then let's make it really nourishing for us. So my hope is that over the next few hours, that this experience will help soothe our hearts and invigorate our capacity to choose love in the face of whatever we're facing, because we are facing into so much right now. And it takes a lot of courage to keep us from breaking our hearts open, breaking our hearts in the face of what's there. And I know that my personal courage comes and is fueled by my resilience. My heart-centered resilience is fueled by being in communities and moments just like this. So I want to start by saying thank you for being here. These times really matter and really support us. And the theme of this pulse is a real special one to me because I feel like it reflects the origin of my unstoppable trust in the potential of our collective human heart and my personal commitment to embodied coherence, to live a life fueled by the field of love, and to really be able to choose love in the face of whatever comes our way. And I know from this new science and new story and this attunement to my own song, I know that the quality of my unique note matters, and it holds me accountable because I know it matters. And the more I come into resonance with my own song, my own note, the more I naturally align with the earth and everything around me that's rising up in a vibrant way as the chaos and the breakdown occur. And I trust that that chaos and that breakdown is part of the evolutionary process. And I know that our collective coherence is fueling what's breaking through. So I want to invite us to hold our care for ourselves and everything that is happening in the world in our hearts tonight. I don't want us to set it aside. I want us to be present in it all as we open to the possibility that there's a new way to view it, to respond to it, to hold it, to hospice it, and to midwife something beautiful as we explore this lens of the new science and the new story and the new song. So I've invited a bunch of friends, and we're going to start with Jude Currivan, who was on the pulse this morning with her video, and she is going to help set the theme for tonight. So Jude, welcome to the call.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jude Currivan. I'm delighted to record this video for our theme of new science, new story, new song. I'm in the UK, so my time zone is 8 hours ahead of Saturday Night Alive's West Coast home studio. And so whilst it's the middle of the night for me, and which means I won't be joining you live, I do feel that I'm joining you alive. Indeed, the new science is showing that I can, because as I record these words, I can non-locally connect and be present with you all now. As the mystic and poet Rumi once wrote, there is a field beyond space and time where we will meet here as friends. The technologies of the old science have enabled us to see further and at smaller and larger scales than ever before. They've enabled us to communicate as a global human family like never before. And yet, the cosmology of the old science is a worldview of materiality and separation. It describes a universe devoid of meaning and evolutionary processes bereft of purpose. And it treats immaterial mind and consciousness as somehow arising from material brains. This worldview of separation has driven a world of suffering. Discoveries of the new science, though, are finding that such a limited and fragmented view of reality is fundamentally wrong. Instead, leading-edge evidence is revealing a universe that in its entirety is essentially alive. This emerging understanding is not only converging, but integrating with universal spirituality and indigenous wisdom teachings into a whole world view of reality. It's showing that our universe exists and evolves as a non-locally interconnected and unified entity, that its appearance of energy and matter and space and time emerge from deeper levels of causation, and that its multidimensional realms encompass far more than its solely material appearance. Above all, it's showing that mind and consciousness aren't something we have, but what we and the whole world are, with our universe in its entirety being a great thought of cosmic mind rather than a great thing. Scientific evidence at all scales of existence and across numerous fields of research is showing that everything in our universe is in relationship with everything else. This new science is a science of love. It describes how cosmic mind, articulated in a universal language of digitized and vitally meaningful information, informs the entirety of our universe as a cosmic hologram, where every part of it, the wholeness is embodied in all its fractal parts, beginning not in the implied chaos of a big bang, but as a beautifully ordered and exquisitely fine-tuned first moment of an ongoing big breath. Crucially, this new science reveals a universe that as space expands and time flows, embodies a profound evolutionary impulse to evolve from simplicity to complexity and increasing levels of individuated self-awareness, from atoms to planets and plants and people. This new and emergent whole worldview narrative offers a worldview that helps us not only to understand such unity awareness, but invites us to envision, co-create, experience, and embody a new story of unity in diversity, and how we each and all belong, and each of all and all of us have meaning and purpose within and as microcosmic co-creators of our living universe. In doing so, it also helps us to acknowledge and release the traumas that our collective illusion of separation has incurred, in addition to our own inner healing and the healing of our behaviors towards each other. The new science and the new story it brings also and vitally supports healing of our fractured relationship between ourselves and our planetary home, Gaia. The new science encourages us to come together, to link up and lift up, to level up and light up, to share new stories of love and hope in action. And its whole worldview naturalizes and empowers our innate superpowers of intuition, of supernormal awareness such as telepathy and remote cognition, and communication with other and multi-dimensional realms of sentience. Our universe too is innately vibrational, harmonic and resonant, and actually began with a song, a primordial Om that rang throughout space soon after the first moment of the big breath, and whose notes of creation continued for nearly 400,000 years to pulse through space. And singing energy and matter into manifestation, and composing the song of stars still to come. So, as we celebrate Saturday Night Alive, the emergent new science and its evolving new story calls us to sing a new song together that co-creates and interweaves with the song lines of a new earth, and which align
Beautiful. What a just absolutely beautiful way to start the show. And
I put some links in the chat, Scott, for Jude and her website. If you don't know Jude, if this was your first experience of her, definitely watch the replay from yesterday, which I'm putting in the chat for you. But also visit the website, and there's a couple of other links I put in where she's offering her science and her guidance, which is so beautiful because she's a mystic and she's a hard scientist. So she's the perfect bridge for this new science, and she's beautiful. Thank you, Jude. Thank you. You're sleeping right now, and I know that your heart is with us right now, as you said. So Jude, thank you. And I wanted to bring Gary next because he was on the show this morning with Jude, and he did a pulse. His first pulse was with Jude as well. And I know it's touched your heart so deeply, Gary. And I wanted you, just through whatever you're going to share with us right now in your music, to bring us right into the field that we generated this morning, so that we can really seed this evening with this beautiful love we've generated.
21 years ago, my daughter was 8 years old, and in the Waldorf school, they enacted the biblical stories as a way to cultivate values and ethics and morals for third graders. And I wrote this song with a woman named Miriam Zislovich for the children, 30 third graders, to sing this. And I've sung it now all over the world, and it's really dedicated to that unity that Jude is talking about, the oneness, but it's also in a very tender way, acknowledging this moment in time that's happening with our Afghan brothers and sisters. And also all the people, so many people who are going through such challenges, right? And so being through the eyes of a little child, this song came forth for 30 third graders to sing about this. They did the story of Joseph and the coat of many colors. And I just want to pay homage to the fact that Jude particularly asked this today for the Pulse to sing Joni Mitchell's song, Woodstock. And we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. But this song is calling me with the tenderness of a child, discovering the power of forgiveness. Have no shame. Sorry, I'm going to start again. Have no fear. Have no shame. One more time. And we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. Have no fear, have no shame. Children of the earth, we are all made the same, perfect from our birth. Though at times we close our hearts and look the other way, love is still alive in us, thriving come what may. So come with us, return from distant lands. We're never far away. We're in love's blessed hand. As we walk through our lives, we're bound to go astray, but that's what life is all about, learning every day. So come with us, return from distant lands. We're never far away. We're in love's blessed hands. So come with us, return from distant lands. Forgive and make amends. We're in God's, we're in love's blessed And you can sing to yourself, we're in love's blessed hands. 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 Forgive and make amends. We're in love's blessed hands. Dedicated to the peace and unity of the world.
Yeah, Gary, let's just take a minute before we go into Sarah with what you just evoked in all of us. And everybody's really feeling this need right now to send this love that we're feeling around the planet to the people in Afghanistan. And I think there's a hurricane happening in our country. There's just so much. So right now, in this feeling, let's just start right here, taking the pulsing energy from this morning, and we're just adding to it right now. In this whole evening, let us pulse the field with hours together. Yeah. And so we're going to continue to go deeper into this experience and keep pulsing the field with this experience. And Gary, I'm going to invite you to introduce Sarah, who's going to do a live kind of attunement. She's going to keep bringing us deeper into this theme and then deliver us into the arms of Michael Lindfield. So Gary.
It's my great honor. I'm going to take the echo off. Here we go. It's my great privilege to introduce my beloved friend and collaborator, the thought leader and the author and the visionary and the deliverer of information around channeling and utilizing our energy to optimal and most generative effect. And this great privilege of mine has been to come back to the place where I started at 5 years old on the piano, and we created these transformances. And I would just love you to experience the lucidity and the in the moment crackling on the edge of the unknown that happens when Sarah starts speaking, because she never knows exactly what she's going to say. And these, I'll let her say something about the genre, but I just want you to really enjoy and get to know Sarah McCrum.
Thank you, Gary. We are simply going to enter a space together. As Gary said, I don't know yet what it's going to be exactly. So we're in this together. This is called a transformance. It's a transformational live performance. Gary, would you like to give us some music?
Absolutely. Coming now. Start. Here we go.
We are truly on the edge of the unknown. As we look forward into the new science, it produces a new story. And so let's take some time together in this beautiful field of coherence to sense and get to know our new story. What is the story of your future? What is the story of your future as it weaves with the future of every other person in this call? And what is the future of your story and my story and our story as it weaves with all the stories across the planet into islands of coherence, linked in ways that we will never fully understand, but we can feel, and we know so deep in our being we know the story. We are that story. We are always creating the new story. And we have the choice now to create a story that we would love to pass on to our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and the untold generations of the future, as our story weaves a new song for humanity living on Earth, located in the universe, situated in all that we don't know. We are truly on the edge of the unknown.
Thank you, Sarah.
And that's a really beautiful place for us to begin, is right here in the unknown, and really open with curiosity to what's emerging as we embrace this new science and this new story and this new song and the love that's in our hearts. Thank you, Sarah. It was beautiful. So I'd like to go next to my friend Michael Lindfield. Michael, I wanted you to come on first because you actually ignited this little exploration here of the new science, new story, new song with Jude and Marshall and myself and Kristen Hoffman and Gary, and I think others joining in. And I think it's such an important one. So I wanted to bring your voice in, bring your love in, and the inspiration around this that you had. I'll bring in Michael. There we go. I think we lost you for a second. Spotlight for everyone. There we go. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being here and offering your love.
Thank you, Teresa. And maybe I can start by just saying it was 2 years ago when I was in New Zealand and Australia. I had a very deep experience in the Blue Mountains of Australia and then in the South Island of New Zealand, getting in touch with the presence of the Mother of the World and the sense that she had been silent for a while because we had been making so much noise, but it was time for her to sing. And she needed us to be quiet, to listen, and then to join in, to sing in the song lines of a new earth. And I was told that our task together is to sing in the song lines of a new earth. And so I've been sharing that very, very powerful experience. And I believe it resonates in the field because that's what all of us are being called to do. And I want to start by thanking Gary and Sarah for adding their beauty and their rich tones to the emerging meta-narrative. And I'd like to continue exploring the reality of the unified field that we know as the new science and the new story that Jude Currivan shared with us. And we need to be real and in the moment. At the same time, we are sensing what the future is asking of us. So inside the vast and timeless panorama of the creation story, let's understand what's happening to us now and what's being called forth now in response to the urgent need of this critical moment in evolutionary history. So many of us are sensing in our hearts that it is essential to create spiritual resiliency. A spiritual resiliency that will carry us through these times of turmoil. And we understand that coherence and the presence of love are really vital to our survival and our thrival as a species and a planet. And in the past couple of years, we've witnessed on our planet many events. And from one perspective, it does appear that our society is in free fall and will most likely very soon hit the rocks. But depending on the degree of spiritual resiliency and the level of unconditional love we're able to generate, I can see 3 scenarios, and it may be that all 3 of these scenarios are present simultaneously. So in the coming months and years, we will either bounce, bruise, or break. And I'll explore that a little more as we go into our time together here. What I do know that is a heart pulsing with love is the only true security we have and the only way forward. So I ask myself, and I ask all of us, is there a way of slowing down the rate of free fall, of counteracting the powerful gravitational pull of what we have set in motion through our collective beliefs and behaviors over the past decades? And as I was preparing for our time together this evening, I remembered a while back watching a red-tailed hawk rise and wheel in silent, graceful arcs above Meditation Mount that overlooks the eastern end of the Ojai Valley in Southern California. And as I witnessed the hawk circling, I began to reflect on what really gives lift to our lives and raises our consciousness to new heights. And I placed a question in my heart. And this was the question: what is the missing element that carries life ever upwards and liberates us from the gravitational pull of earthly fears and fixations? And then the answer came swooping in from the timeless blue above me. So clear: loving kindness. loving kindness is the eternal flame of the fire of unconditional love. And I realized as I watched the hawk that it is the warmth radiating from an open and caring heart that generates the needed currents and thermals of love that give lift to the outstretched wings of our humanity. I know deeply that it is loving kindness that breaks the cold circle of self-interest and turns this closed loop into an upward moving spiral that allows the joy of the one life to course and circulate freely through the arteries of our collective human experience. So these thermals of love give lift to our wings so that we may bounce back and avoid unnecessary bruising when the inevitable happens. And we know that while the forms of life may break, the indomitable spirit of love that lives at the heart of all creation and lives at the heart of each one of us will never be broken. So I ask myself, and I ask each of us this question: how do we make the needed shift? So I believe there's a tipping point where the present downward trend can be reversed. And this is a point when we shift our daily focus from investing our life energy in the survival of the separated self into a needed reinvestment of energy that serves and supports the common good. For me, it's as simple as that. And as Teresa mentioned in the beginning, and it's being mentioned and noted throughout this whole Saturday Night Alive, the heart is the central organ because it allows us to come into resonance with life, to tune into ourselves and to the frequencies of the cosmos and to all of creation. The heart receives and radiates energy, and it allows each of us to participate in that great circulation of love that is the great chain of blessing. So the heart holds all pain and all possibilities, and it's the great womb out of which new life springs and sings forth. But also the heart is an instrument for registering and playing the song of our soul. And I'd like us to experience this together. So if we could take a few deep, gentle breaths and bring our physical bodies to a place of relaxation. Our emotions to a place of calmness, and our thoughts to a place of peace and serenity. Let us enter the space of the heart. Become aware that at the center of your own heart there burns this flame of unconditional love, the resilient flame of love that will never, ever be extinguished. And then let us join heart to heart with all others on this call today. And as we do so, we weave together a coherent field that is the one heart of our humanity. And now in the silence of the heart, we listen with the inner ear. First of all, listen to the gentle power of your own soul as it breathes into your heart. And imagine your heart as an Aeolian wind harp that as the breath of the soul moves through the finely tuned strings of your heart, it produces a signature tune. This is the song of your soul on earth at this time. And as you hear the song of your soul, let it fill your heart and fill your whole being with its power, its potency, its promise. And link together, heart to heart, forming the one heart of our humanity. Let us listen with our collective inner ear to the breath of the Creator as it moves through the instrument of this one heart, singing and sounding the new story encoded as a musical formula. And as we listen together, we begin to compose and co-create this new story, the new song, as we sing in the song lines of the new earth together, not alone, but together with all those lives that make up this multi-dimensional ecosystem we call Gaia. Saint Francis once said in prayer, "Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace." The invitation that we're responding to is to be the joyful instruments of the new story and the choristers of the new song of Gaia. Let us allow this song to emerge from our one heart. And inside the coherent field of love that connects all of life lives a deeper mystery. The deeper mystery that is the divine purpose of Gaia. The purpose charged with the electric fire of the will to be, life wishing to be itself in full splendor. We are part of the revelation of the one life through the new sciences, the new story, and the new song. And our united hearts play a vital part in birthing the presence of love that is so needed, and of singing in the song of the new earth. So by rising in love, we embrace the world within the infinite space of the heart, holding the pain and sorrow of our human experience with deep compassion and loving understanding. We hold this in the collective chalice of the one human heart. And we know, without doubt, the power of love is always alive to new possibilities and can transform and dissolve all obstacles, revealing a lighted pathway through the present human suffering into a new day of freedom and into the reality of this new story that is emerging. So by rising in love, we lift all beings with us on wings of compassion. By rising in love, the doors of the portal of the heart swing open, and we enter a new day together, creating the new story and singing in the song lines of a new earth. The song of Gaia is waiting to be sung. This is the song that will lead to the longed-for planetary rebirth on the next turn of the evolutionary spiral, as we move like the hawk rising on the warm thermals of an early morning. We will rise on the thermals of unconditional love to new heights. Let's remember and rejoice that we are the planetary choir, destined and called to sing the love song of Gaia. This is our destiny. This is our joy.
Thank you, Michael.
Blessings.
I love the comment just in the chat around your embodiment of exactly what you're sharing, of us rising in love and aligning with the energy of the earth. And I want to say I put 2 links in the chat for you, Michael. One is your meditation mount, where there's some wonderful recordings there. Scott's pulled up the website there. And the other is Michael was on one of our global coherence pulses during World Unity Week.
Oh, yes.
And he did one with Theo Grace from Entheo. And it was on fiery hope. And it's a beautiful, beautiful offering. So another one of those wonderful morning offerings, if you feel like dropping deeply into something. It was beautiful, just like this was today. And with Entheo's music, the 2 of you were just such a salve to our sweethearts. And we need that now. We need to be able to connect and rise in love.
I believe there are many things that we need, but clearly at the moment we need healing and we need fiery hope. Healing to mend the broken parts of our humanity, and fiery hope to deliver the promise of who we truly are.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you so much, Michael. And I think your years at Finhorn and all of the work that you've done with the meditation mount, really you are an embodiment of that beautiful song of Mother Earth. You sing it so sweetly through your heart. So thank you.
Well, I'm in love.
You are.
We are all in love. We are swimming in love. We are love.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
Blessings.
So next, I'd really like to bring in my longtime beloved friend and colleague, Marshall Lefferts. We have been on this dance of the new science, the new story, and the new song for as long as we've known each other, which is about 22 years
22
now.
years, yeah.
Yes, we were together with Barbara Marks Hubbard. We were the co-directors of the Foundation for Conscious Evolution. We worked together with the Gene Keys. We worked together with Wisdom University. We worked together with Resonance Science Foundation and helped to birth the Academy, which you're still working with Nassim on. And you were with me as you were birthing your cosmometry book, which is an incredible offering on the planet. Marshall is, a scientist, but also a musician. So his approach to the new science and the new story and the new song, I feel, are so accessible to the common heart. And it's so important, Marshall, that your love is on the planet. And I think you're rising in your life right now. And I love that you're here. And I love that we get to hear from you and you can add your heart to this experience tonight.
Thank you so much, Teresa. It's a joy to be here with you and to share in what you have been creating with the Coherence Pulse and tonight with Saturday Night Live with everybody here. And I have to say, my heart has just been deeply touched with Gary and Sarah's invocation and Michael's words, and calling upon our hearts to be present together. And it really kind of choked me up, and probably is true for many of us this week and at different times throughout all this time we're in. But this week especially, I found my heart really feeling very heavy and very constricted, and you know, the times we're in are so completely up in the air as to which way things are going to go, and we keep getting information that just challenges our you know, the credibility of life in some ways, because it's so extreme in so many ways, and so challenging to even get a handle on what is reality, what's really going on. So and as Sarah said, you know, we are on the edge of the unknown, and it feels like that to an extreme right now. And I actually think that's a good thing, because I think the known that we have used to get us to where we are now, at least in a more kind of practical, societal, and even technological way, it has reached its expiration date. And it's time for that which is, I think, actually known to become known. And I think it's unknown to so many people, what we're actually sharing here today. And so I just want to acknowledge the invocation, the words, and how much that touched me, what you have all said. And to touch then into what I feel is known, and to bring that more into a coherent understanding in just a few minutes, talking about the new science, the new story, and the new song. And so the new science, I've been involved with Mr. Haramain, Resonance Science Foundation, and Thrive Films, which I worked on with Gary. They brought his beautiful music into those films. And really the heart and soul of those projects and that research and those offerings is, as has been mentioned, the reality that we live in a unified field. It's not a disparate, disconnected reality that it does appear to be like that, and it can feel like that at times. And yet, truly, fundamentally, that's not the case. There's real evidence scientifically, through experiment, through theory, and really through conceptual understanding of the holographic or hologrammic nature of the universe. As Jude mentioned, that fractal hologrammic integrated wholeness. That is the true nature of our reality, and that we live in one unified field. And I would say the most fundamental characteristic that is of importance to our understanding tonight, and even to where we're headed in the world, is that of the principle of resonance, as Teresa says a lot. Actually, Teresa, you made it in the pre-show, you made a little bit of a, put a couple of words together by mistake. You started to say presonance, for presence and resonance. And I loved that. That was a fantastic word, presonance. So, you know, that's actually a big part, I think, of what we're actually coming into, is actually presence, our own resonance in the world at this time.
Yeah.
And the nature of the cosmos being this vibratory field of frequencies and vibrations of light and sound that form matter and consciousness is all one unified thing. That the beauty of that, and the beauty of the new science, is that by understanding that resonant nature, we come to understand that the entire system, literally the system that creates the cosmos, is a harmonic system. It's based on harmony. It's literally music, because music we didn't invent, we discovered music. It exists throughout the cosmos already, and it only makes sense that the cosmos would naturally organize in the same way that we have come to understand and create this beauty and richness and heart-touching and opening musical expressions. That's what the cosmos is based on. So the new science is really a harmonic science. And we have the opportunity to really fully embrace that and bring it into our world. And it's really the science of coherence, as Teresa and Global Coherence Pulse and everyone that's involved in bringing coherence into the world understands. And that brings us to the new story, which for me, it really boils down to a choice point that we're in at this time. And it's really an imperative that we make a conscious choice to bring ourselves into resonance with nature and the cosmos, that innate harmony that exists, that is what informs and creates what we call our reality, is beautifully expressed in nature, and it's beautifully expressed in the cosmos, and it's not very beautifully expressed in our world at this time. And our technologies, for example, are especially electromagnetic technologies, are not necessarily tuned into such a way that will really provide that harmonic relationship that we can have if we apply the harmonic science and really take the understanding of that harmonic nature and that harmonic structure and build it into our systems and build it into our understanding of how we relate to nature, how we create coherent harmonic relationships with nature and the cosmos. And that we really have, I have a phrase I like to say that struck me last year as I was really contemplating, what are we really up to here? And it is that we are consciously making the shift from causing harm to causing harmony. And causing harmony is a choice. It's not a given, as we can see in our world. And yet we have the ability with the new science to actually bring ourselves into a new story, which is actually to consciously cause harmony in our world and do so in a very pragmatic way through our technologies, as well as through the ways that we can take the same principles and the same even sort of technical understanding and bring it into, let's say, our economic systems, our energy generating systems, our medicine, our medical systems. Resonance-based medicine is really the key to the whole future. Even agriculture benefits from harmonic resonance when applied in at a quantum level, like in water, and even sound. It helps plants to grow. It just brings the balance and restores harmony. And that's the choice we have. And that leads me to the new song, which I was thinking about, well, what is the new song? And it struck me, and in my own personal kind of worldview, what I think is probably the most important offering we can give the world right now, especially in the face of all this challenge and turmoil, is to bring ourselves back into a state of joy, to actually not only bring ourselves back, but to reside as much as possible in a state of joy. For that is what actually balances out so much, even the love that we all love to bring into everything we do is, I believe, balanced when we are bringing in our joy. So the new song for me is a song of joy. And as Michael just said, listen to the song of the earth and join in. And that's what harmonizing with the earth literally means. It literally is to sing the same song, the one song, the universe, to sing the one song with the cosmos. And so I want to complete by inviting us to just simply drop into our hearts, into our bellies, into our minds, radiate that energy like a star shining. And when I do this, I know I feel a joyful feeling in my body. And so it's really can be as simple as that. And I think it's so important at this time in our world that we really choose to engender the joy and to engender and create and consciously choose to shift from causing harm to causing harmony in our world. And, it's all here. We have all the knowledge we need. And I believe we have all the solutions we need to do so. So that's my offering and my blessing for tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marshall. I'm so glad that you said that. We're actually working on a project with Marshall to bring that meme into the world because it's so important. Just that thought, right? How can I personally, relationally, socially, planetarily, like all of those things, how can we start to ask that question every day to ourselves? How can I shift from causing harm to causing harmony? And there's so many ways that we can take this incredible technology that we have blanketing the planet with 5G that's not in harmony with natural systems and with life. And we could shift the tuner, right? We could change the song that it's singing, and all of a sudden life could be enhanced by what we've already built. And that is such an important thing for us to start bringing into all of our solutioning. So Marshall, I'm so excited to kind of like get that little meme out there, and you can see everybody saying it's ingenious, it's brilliant, it's the thing that we need in order to know how to act, right? We need those things to bring us into balance.
Truly so.
And you could bring up Marshall's website, the cosmometry website. And the joy part, Marshall, isn't it true that as we tune into the unique note that we are, that our life starts to be more joyful? We start to like just do our part. We don't like overdo it, and we join with others doing the same. And let's spotlight his website there. And this book, Cosmometry, if you're interested in the new science, and sometimes from a scientific perspective, it seems challenging, this book is the doorway for you. This is the doorway for you. It's beautiful, Marshall.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I really believe that when we solve the problems, when we stabilize our world, harmonize with nature, and bring ourselves out of the stress that we're in, ultimately what that leads to is joy. And as the spiritual traditions say, ultimately it leads to bliss, because that's what the foundation of our existence really is based upon.
Thank you so much, Marshall. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank
tonight.
you for all you're doing. Thank you, Scott and Debra and everybody for being here.
Beautiful. So we're just going to spend a few minutes. Gary, I'm going to set you up to play a little music after I share a little bit about the Global Coherence Pulse, just so that we have a chance, and feel free, Debra or Scott, if you want to chime in. But I did ask Scott and Debra if tonight that we could have our contributions, like if we feel inspired to give some of our love through green energy, that we do it for the Global Coherence Pulse. And I just want to say that it has 100% been a volunteer effort. Like everything that we've been doing over the last year and a half has come from donations, and mostly it's been paying the expenses. And we need to have some support in order to keep doing that. And we're ready to grow. We're ready to invite more and more people to take time out of their day, out of their month, out of their week, to be in the exploration and practice of coherence. And that's what the Pulse is doing in the Islands of Coherence. So if right now that you have been touched in some way by the Global Coherence Pulse over the last year and a half, I encourage you to make a contribution so that we can keep doing this and we can keep spreading this important message out onto the planet. And it only takes a little bit. Like if everybody gives a little, then we have a coherent flow and we can keep having these kind of offerings happening. So thank you in advance for giving something. And I'm going to let Gary play a little music so that if we want to take time, and we put the link in the chat for that, that we can just be in that space. So Gary.
We are stardust, million-year-old carbon. We are golden, caught in the devil's bargain. Back to the garden.
Mm. Thank you, Gary. It's so fun to have you on some of these sessions and really feel your heart light shining just more and more and more and more. Thank you so much.
I just adore having the opportunity to play alongside you, my dear. I love the sandbox you create, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to give people a chance to use their cameras to donate. And it's a wonderful, easy way for people to do it. Just get your cell phone out, open up your camera function, put it up close. See that cute little dinosaur there? And it pops right up on your phone. An easy way to donate. So this is a really wonderful way to do it. So for anybody that is ready to donate, it's easy. Just pull up your camera, put it right there. You'll see a little gray bar up above on your cell phone that says click here, and that's where you click to open up your browser. And waiting right for you are wonderful ways to donate to Teresa Collins and the Global Coherence Pulse.
Hey, Scott, let's also bring up Gary's Soul Song Saturdays. We have an image for him. And Gary, you might want to say something about that. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
It's just a beautiful way. You know, we all, if we're alive, we have shadows we can't see. And there's always opportunities to hear from our higher self what our prayers are for our highest and best version of ourselves. So the Soul Song celebration is identifying and listening to the guidance from your highest wisdom and having a prayer that gets, St. Augustine said, a prayer sung is a prayer with wings. So it's an hour and 15 minutes of soaking in, receiving your higher self guidance and creating a talismanic musical experience that can live with you for the rest of your days if you wish to let it serve you that way. It's a beautiful experience, and it's going to be the first Saturday of the month at 10 a.m. The flyer says 9, but it's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for those of you who join the website, there's all kinds of gifts to come as well. So thanks, Teresa.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Gary. I want to come on Saturdays, and it's so good. Like, we need those times together, and we need to be in the music and the love. So thank you for that. I'm really excited to introduce our next presenter, Mr. Gregg Braden. Maybe we can bring on his image. Gregg has joined us today. He's been online all day. I'm so grateful, Gregg, that you joined. And, you know, Gregg's a 5-star New York bestselling author and scientist and pioneer in the emerging paradigm, bridging science, social policy, and human potential. You know, he has 15 film credits. He has 12 award-winning books. He's published in 40 languages. And for me, how I describe Gregg Braden is that he is one of the most gracious men that I have ever met on this planet. Consistently embodies the message that he's sharing, and his courage to share the truth of who we are and our potential always inspires me beyond words. So, Gregg, I am so grateful that you came even after a long day to be with us. I love you. I love you so much. And thank you for all you're doing on the planet.
I love you as well, Teresa. And it's so good to be with you. It just feels so good to be with everyone tonight, to be with you. Where were you, Teresa, at 5 a.m. this morning when I began my broadcast in Czech Republic? Those words are exactly what I needed to hear at 5 a.m. this morning. But this has been a day for you as well. For many of us, we have dedicated this day to sharing our love not only for the planet, but for our family, for our global family. And we're worth it. We're worth the day. We're worth many days. And I am so honored to be with you tonight. And so many of the people on this program are dear friends and colleagues. Teresa, I've lost track of how many years you and Marshall and I have known one another, but I know it goes back to meeting in Barbara Marx Hubbard's house in Santa Barbara. So
It's 20 years. It's
is it
20 years? 20 years. Yeah.
And you haven't changed. So, and Gary, my brother, I got to tell you, you have been present with me through so much of my life, even though we don't spend so much time physically. And your gift to this world has been the soundtrack for my life that has gotten me through very difficult times, including, you may not know, I lost my mom to COVID earlier this year. And your masterful, heartfelt, just the sounds that you create in this world. I know you know this, but they are more than just beautiful. They are the power that guides so many souls to the deepest knowing within them so that they can navigate in a healthy way what life has brought to their doorstep. And you are such a master. So I'm honored to be with all of you tonight. And Jude and I work on many projects together, and I thought she was going to be with us live. And I realized it would be like 3 o'clock in the morning for her. And so I'm happy that she pre-recorded so she can honor her body with sleep. But she began with the perfect beginning for me because Jude is a cosmologist. Our story is what tonight is all about. But ultimately, tonight is a love story. And I'm really excited to talk about our love story and share how the new science is supporting our love story, because the science is on our side. For many people, science has come to take on a new meaning that a lot of people are not comfortable with, and I want to talk about that a little bit. But the bottom line is, this is about our story. And for many people, when you hear the word story, it sounds like this philosophical kind of abstract concept, light conversation over a cup of tea, my green tea or a cup of coffee. And it can be. But ultimately, what I want our community to really consider tonight is that we live our lives based upon our story, based upon the way we've been taught to think about ourselves, our relationship to our own bodies. That's up for everybody right now. Our relationship to the earth, that's up for us. Our relationship to one another, to the future, to the past, to the God, to the cosmos. When you really think about it, every relationship you've ever had in your life is based upon the way you've been taught to think. The way that you heal your body is based upon the way we've been taught to think. The policies that we embrace, the laws that we enact, the way we solve our problems, every problem, including the pandemic, it's all based upon our story. Our story, historically, is based upon what we now know are false assumptions of an obsolete science. Our story, when I was in school back in 1950s, is when I started being indoctrinated into the current scientific story. When I was in school in 1950s, 60s, early 70s, I was taught that we live in a universe that is dead. It is a dead, inert universe. It's the product of what's called lucky physics, a big explosion, a release of energy, this primal release of energy that continues to expand after the release. Everything is separate from everything else. And that we as humans are the product of equally lucky biology. This unbelievable set of circumstances where just the right conditions came together at just the right time to create just the right chemicals and atoms and molecules to create consciousness in who we are. This is the story that we've been taught. It's a story of separation, of competition, of conflict, of struggle. It's a story of victimhood, powerlessness, and it's the story that our world is built upon. The economic system that is buckling, collapsing, is not sustainable. It's based upon this sense of competition and conflict and struggle. Dog eat dog. The corporate system is based upon this. The way that we share vital resources with our global family is based upon this. So this is what has gotten us to the place where we are right now. And we have to be honest. How can we solve the problems if we're not honest about the problems? Well, our story is so important. It's so vital that there's a battle for our story. And you all know this. It's playing out right in front of our eyes. The best way to hide something is to keep it in plain sight. There's a battle for our story. There's a battle for our thoughts. We all know that. It's playing out in the mainstream. We're being taught how to think and conditioned how to respond to what the world is showing to us. There's a battle for our beliefs. There's a battle for our bodies. There's a battle for our health. Beyond all of that, there's another battle that is fundamental to all this. Is a battle for our very humanness. Our very humanness. Our biology now is being threatened to be replaced by technology, artificial intelligence, computer chips in the brain, wires in the body, chemicals in the blood. That is what's up for us right now. There's a battle, and the stakes have never been higher. And for me, this is the most exciting time for the science, because the new science has overturned all of that thinking. The new science has overturned 150 years of scientific thinking. And the new science is now telling us, as Jude began describing so eloquently early in this program, the new science begins with a new cosmology. It says the universe appears to be alive and conscious, not dead and inert, alive. It behaves as a living being. When a star explodes, for example, in one part of the universe, other parts of the universe will shift and compensate as a living organism does so that it can adjust its energy systems to that star. The new science is telling us when we extract the DNA from the fossilized remains of the beings that we were told we descended from, and we compare their DNA to ours, we didn't descend from those beings. The DNA is telling us this. This is where the new science is leading. The DNA is telling us that we shared the earth with many of those primitive forms of life, and that we emerged, we appeared on this planet about 200,000 years ago, just the way we are today. The same genome, the same body proportions, the same afferent cardiac neurons that allow us this coherence that we're talking about. We showed up with these extraordinary potentials that we're only beginning to embrace in our lives. So the new story, we've asked science to tell us who we are. Science is doing a really good job. And there are people and individuals and academic organizations that don't like the answers. Science is on our side. Science is telling us who we are, what our extraordinary potentials are, and there are people that are pushing back on that story. They're fighting to cling to the old story that is called the standard model. It is a story of separation, powerlessness, and helplessness. So when we look at what life has brought to our doorstep today and the role of this new story, we have a choice. Many of you know I am a scientist. I'm a geophysicist by degree, a strong background in molecular biology, molecular chemistry, math, physics, astronomy, cosmology, archaeology. It all kind of fits together. But I'm also an explorer. And I spent the first 40, 45 years of my adult life exploring the wisdom of our past, ancient and indigenous traditions, and the stories that they have told themselves in times of trouble and in times of need. And I'm going to invite you to consider a potential that indigenous people, monks and nuns in Tibet have shared this with me, and the shamans in the Andes Mountains of Peru, and right here in our own backyard. I'm coming to you from a studio in Santa Fe, New Mexico, here in the American Desert Southwest. And what my indigenous colleagues have invited me to consider is when we talk about the struggle in our lives today, the struggle comes from us comparing where we are now with what has happened in the past, the guilt that comes from that, the feeling that we need to somehow go back in time and fix something. That's a perspective. It leads to suffering. There's another perspective that says our past is the learning curve that brought us to where we are today. And we're here now. And based on what we now know is true, we can make choices that move forward. Buckminster Fuller I have so much respect for. He said this so beautifully. He said, "You're never going to change the world by fighting the things that you don't like." He said, "If you want to change the world, find a new way that works better than the old way, and people will follow that new way." We are living a time of extremes, and we have a choice. We can struggle, and we can fight, and we can suffer, and be angry about the past, or we can do what Buckminster Fuller is saying. We can simply choose to move forward based upon what we now know is true, that the universe is alive and conscious, and that we are the product of some intentional act. We don't fully understand as scientists, but we're not the product of random processes, and that we are fully equipped not only to survive, but to thrive in the world that is emerging as we embrace the deep truth of who we are and the potentials that live within us. And I think this is where we are right now. We have this opportunity to move forward. There are two parallel societies that are emerging right in front of us right now, and we're watching it. Sometimes it's in the same home, at the same dinner table, where the kids think one way and the parents are thinking another way. Two parallel societies. One of those societies is all in on everything, on the technology and the surveillance to help them feel safe, and all of the chemical solutions to all the problems in the world. And there is another society that's saying, not so fast. Something's not right. We need to go back to something more fundamental, more basic. We need to go back to families. We need to go back to eating food that's grown in the earth. We need to go back to honoring our bodies. And these two parallel ways of thinking, they're happening right now, but it's not sustainable. We can't do this forever. Something's got to give. And what I think will happen is these two parallel ways of thinking are emerging right now, and we're going to check each other out. And we're going to look and see who's happier, who's healthier, whose lives are more fulfilled. And that is going to become the answer to the questions that we're asking right now about the new human story as we write the story of our extraordinary potentials and where we are in our lives. Early in my life, I was given a book when I was 10 years old by Khalil Gibran, the poet, the prophet, the Sufi poet. And there was a statement in that book that's been a foundation in my life. It's on every email that goes out. It's on the wall in my office. I've had it with me I carry it in my briefcase. Khalil Gibran said, "Work is love made visible." It takes a lot of work to change our story. It takes a lot of work to change the way that we think and the way we've been taught to think. So I think the love story that we're talking about tonight, it's our love story. And here's the question. This is what I'll leave you with tonight. Do we love ourselves enough to live our lives in a way so that our bodies are at their best and that we are the best versions of ourselves to create the best version of the world that's possible? Do we love ourselves enough to allow that question to become the guiding light in every choice that we make every day in our lives, in kindness to one another, to allow ourselves to think differently? The most radical act that a human can perform is to think independently, reflecting the facts truthfully and honestly, rather than going with the story because it's easy. That's what's up for us right now. And I believe that we are worth it. I believe that we are worth it. Do we love ourselves enough to nourish our bodies and to be kind to one another in a way that allows us to be the best version of ourselves? And that answer to that, I believe, is us writing that new human story. So Teresa, I will close there. I'll say the science is on our side. I'm going to turn this back over to you. Thank you.
Stay with us for a minute, Gregg. We have a little time, so I just want to pause with what you just said. There's so many comments in the chat around how you just go right to the bullseye, right? You just say it how it is. And it takes a lot of courage for us to just not buy into the story and for us to just hold our truth in our hearts, but to do it with love. I know in my family, my mom and my brother and my nephew are vaccinated. I'm not. and we're able to coexist lovingly with each other with our choices. And that's not true for everyone.
Yeah.
But if we can approach everything that's happening, and we can be loving, and we can accept the choices that everyone's making, because if we're following our hearts, then we're doing the thing that we need to do on behalf of the whole, because our note is saying that. But it does take a lot of courage for us to actually rewrite the story, to believe it in our hearts, to choose it in every moment. And you're really a stand for that. And you're such a good messenger of that potential that we have.
Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Well, it takes courage. On the other hand, it could be the simplest thing that we ever do in our lives, because it's much easier to move forward based on what we now know to be true and to honor that truth in our lives than to look in the past and try to fix and rectify and the guilt and the judgment and all the things that come from that. If we can think of it as a learning curve that worked so well, it got us to where we are today. Now we have a new story that we're writing together and we move forward. I can't think of a more exciting time to be in this planet. This is what we came here for.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And you just came off a beautiful event in Prague. And I don't know if there's something you want to say about what just happened there, because
You know, what I'd like to say is I was with our audience, a large audience, a television audience in Prague today, and they brought in a Prague movie celebrity that interviewed me for 90 minutes of that.
Wow.
Specifically, but in general, what we're talking about now, these ideas, when I leave the borders of this big, beautiful country, America, that we live in, that I love so much, these ideas are much more freely accepted in other parts of the world. When I'm in the Andes of southern Peru, when I'm in Eastern Europe, you know, when I'm in the Asian countries. So I want our community, and a lot of people don't have the luxury or the privilege or the opportunity to travel. And it feels like we're in this alone, and we're not. There is a massive global community that is mobilizing their hearts and their love, because the young people are ready for a new world. They are so tired of the suffering that their parents went through and the wars and the brutality of the past. They don't want that. And they are the ones that are claiming the deep truth of what it means to be human. And now they're coming into the age where they are governing and they are voting. So our job, I think, in our generation, is to share with them what we've learned and support them as they move forward into the world that they're building for themselves and for their children.
Yeah. Amen. That is an important job for us, for sure. Gregg, I want to bring up your website where you are doing some live events now. I mean, we haven't been able to be with you in person, and finally, after many months, you have some events coming up. You're going to be in Taos, and you're going to be taking some journeys. Do you want to just say anything about
Well, I'll just say, if people are interested in this kind of work, we are doing very few live events. They've all been canceled internationally. I am doing some domestic events, but I've taken this time to develop a new brand that is called Pure Human. There will be a new book out early in the year, Pure Human. We're at the crossroad of technology and biology. And these events, there's a 2-day event that is called Pure Human Ignite. It's an urban event in theaters and classrooms. There's a 4-day deep retreat that is called Pure Human Breakthrough, where we have the opportunity to apply the science, the rock solid science that is giving us insight into how to awaken these extraordinary potentials in our lives. Super immune system, super longevity, super cognition, super memory, super learning, super resilience. All of these are our heritage, they're our birthright, they're our destiny, as Michael said so beautifully. And as we face as a global family what life has brought to our doorstep, this is the impetus for us to embrace this extraordinary potential that lives within us, not to survive, but to thrive in a healthy way, to transcend what we find at our doorstep so we can become more than the extremes that we face in our lives. And that's what this generation is all about. That's why we're here. It's what our indigenous ancestors have all said. We came for this moment.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yes. And we're bringing that wisdom from our ancient past right into the present moment. And you've been
Yeah, well, this is part of it. We've been conditioned to judge ancient wisdom as obsolete, but this now is an invitation to draw upon all wisdom, the best science of the modern world, 5,000 years of indigenous and spiritual principles, and weave them into a knowing that's greater than anything we've ever had before. And that gives us the evolutionary edge to thrive where in the past, maybe these kinds of trials and tribulations have been much more difficult. So we have everything we need, and it's waiting for us to say yes. That's what this is all about.
Yes, I'm saying yes. You're saying
too.
yes. We're all
Thank you.
saying yes, right? We're all saying
We
yes.
are. Teresa,
Yeah.
thank you for some extra time tonight, and also for sharing the website. I appreciate that. Love you all.
Love
You
you,
do such a
Greg.
beautiful job, and I'm so honored to be with you here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for always saying yes and coming on and being with us. Appreciate you so much. Yeah, great. I want to bring on my dear friend Jess Magic. She was able to join us, and she's perfect to follow on from Gregg. She recently had some time with Gregg, and I know she has a deep love. So I want to bring on our friend Jess Magic for some words from you, Jess. I know you've been listening, and maybe a little songs of the shift that you're working on. But so nice to have your presence here, Jess. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So we're just gonna be going old school. I was working with my little handy mic here, and I don't think it's gonna happen. So we're gonna go old school right now with no microphone. What a beautiful, beautiful segment. I've really, really enjoyed listening in, and yeah, what I feel I'd love to offer to just riff a bit on what Gregg was sharing is an embodied experience of the beauty of the technology of our system that we were given and our birthright. And one of the reasons I love music so much is not so much because I think I'm some amazing singer, but it's more I really feel the technology of song. I really feel what happens when I allow my voice to sing notes and feel my whole nervous system transforming instantaneously as I allow myself to be soothed and bathed in the tones. And so I have really been looking a little bit myself into some of the science of what are the things that can change our state. And so much of it is through the senses. So through sound and through smell, and through touch. And I feel that right now there's an invitation to both learn how to more fully stabilize our nervous systems and soothe ourselves in these times of great change and a lot of external stress. How do we take responsibility for our internal environment? And then also in terms of this great awakening, this opportunity that we're in right now as well, that some of the speakers have already spoken into, how can we start to cultivate the technology inside of ourselves that's been lying dormant? And I think song and music and toning is such a powerful way to do that. So what I thought I would do is, instead of just sing you a song, I will invite in a call and response. And let me know, can you hear the guitar okay? I'm just going to play a little bit right here. Yeah. So I'm going to engage my telepathic sensing right now of envisioning how many people are listening and tuning in. And I'm going to start to envision how many of you just love to sing and are like, yay, I get to sing along with this song and are ready to do it. And how many of you are like, no, I'm not doing that. And for all of you that are already in the yes, that are like, yeah, I want to bring my voice. I totally get what you're saying. Thank you. Sing loud and proud so that the rest of us can feel your vibration coming through wherever we are on the planet right now. And then for those of you that are like, no, that's not my jam, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And even if you don't sing back exactly what I'm singing, just let yourself hum a note and allow yourself to treat this like your own little science experiment to notice what changes as you start toning and singing. How does your body feel now? And how does your body feel after you've started singing for a little bit, hearing your own vibration literally through your tone? I dedicate this song to this theme of fully loving ourselves and loving what we were born with and bringing our light forward during this wild moment. I can feel my heartbeat beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. This is where you sing, I can feel my heartbeat. Yeah, I want to see you. Yes, you got it. I can feel my heartbeat. It's beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. Your turn. Yes. Oh, and when I feel the beat in me, I can set my spirit free. When I feel the beat in me, I can. Yes, there you go. Oh, when I feel this beat in me, I can set my spirit free. Your turn. I can feel my body moving with the power of Mother Earth. I can feel my body moving with the power. Yeah, you got this. Oh, I can feel my body move. It's moving with the power of Mother Earth. I can feel my body move. Yes. Feel yourself, hear yourself. You sound beautiful, you feel beautiful. When I feel her move through me, I can set my spirit free. Your turn. When I feel her move through me, I can set my... Yes. Oh, when I feel her move through me, I can set my spirit free. So you can make up your own tune. You don't even have to sing exactly. You can just like go wherever you want to go, which is super fun, right? And now we're becoming this band. Yes, this is how we cultivate joy. All right, this next one's fun. This one's about the revolution. I can feel my soul rising on the wings of a revolution. I can feel my soul rise. Yeah, you got it. The wings of a revolution. Oh, I can feel my soul rising on the wings of a revolution. Yeah, bring the soul in there. Come on, yeah. All the way from your gut. I can feel you. And when I feel it rise through me, I can set my spirit free. When I feel, yes, I feel you guys. When I feel it rise in me, oh, I will set my spirit free. heartbeat one again. And I invite you this time to use your body as percussion. If you want to just like pound on your heart gently, just bringing yourself all the way with this prayer into your body, reminding yourself of this epic, exquisite vessel that your soul gets to live inside of and move through, be touched, be felt. I can feel my heartbeat. It's beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. I can
Feel my heartbeat
Heartbeat,
beating to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
freedom song.
I can feel my heartbeat. It's beating to the rhythm of the freedom song.
Can feel my heartbeat beating to the rhythm of my heartbeat song.
And when I feel it beating me, I can set my spirit free.
Can feel it beating me. I can feel my spirit free.
We will let our hearts be free. Yeah. We will let our hearts be free. We will let our souls be free. We will let our bodies be free. To be where we came here to be. So in this moment, these final moments, I'm gonna just invite any words of your own prayer to come through. You can put it through in the chat. And I'd love to just close out this. It was so fun to hear you singing, Gary and T. I love it so much. And I invite you to just bring any words that you're feeling into the chat. And as I see them come up, I'd love to weave in a little freestyle prayer for each one of us and for our brothers and sisters in this moment. And if you don't have access to chat or you're listening to the replay, then just send it through the field and I think I'll receive it. Yes, we came here to love freely, grace, happy tears rising in love. Heaven on earth, anchoring in love, peace to all. I say yes to my voice, hallelujah. Yes, freedom, the really amazing. We are all connected, yes, please. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound of your voice, of your choice when you let it be free. My beloved is calling me and I can't hang it up because I'm playing the guitar, so please excuse it. If you hear a ring, high beat long words, I love you but I'm not gonna pick up your call, but I'm gonna keep praying with you all, 'cause I feel unitedness. I feel ignited in bliss when I feel the heart of your prayers, the depth of your care. I know we'll get from here to there. I know that we will listen to the sound and the song of our souls, and that we'll remember the indigenous bone in our bodies and find our wholeness. And I know that we are a living embodiment of love as we serve as a conduit between heaven and earth. So don't you give up this. Don't give up on this moment. It's not a fight. It's not a fight. It's a deeper call for us to serve and us to ignite and unite. Not buy into the polarization. Love is our destination, our origination, and our liberation. So I'm closing out this prayer. Take a deep breath into the place where you care, the place that inspired you to get on this session, and feel the blessing of togetherness, wholeness, presence. Your breath is a blessing. This life is a blessing. Choose love wisely. You're not alone. We're in this together.
Mm. Meant to be. We'll hear more from Jess a little bit in the after show too. But Jess, I'm so happy that you came on tonight. This is like such a this theme is so much of what you're bringing into the planet with everything that you do, the new science, the new story, the new song, the rise of the artists. Thank you, because you embody it so beautifully and you bring us into it. You ask us to play with you, and that is so important. So thank you, my beloved sister.
Love you. It's an honor.
Stay around. We'll have a little bit more. Well, I want to go next to my beloved sister, Wendy Grace. I love for us to bring her on. Just got to spend some time with Wendy in person, and it's a really special thing. Wendy, it's a little dark where you are. But we're
No, I enjoy the darkness.
Okay, good.
I'll try the light, but it might be a terrible shock, you know. But, okay, the switch is just there.
All right. So Wendy Grace, I just want to say she's sponsoring this show tonight, and she's sponsored a number of the Saturday Night Alive shows, and she's actually been made it possible for me over many, many years. I would say about 15 years, all the organizations that I've worked with, from the Wisdom University to the Resonance Science Foundation to what we're doing now with the Pulse. Wendy's made that possible in some ways for me to be able to be present and show up and give my gifts. And so I just want to say thank you, Wendy, for the way in which you seed things that are part of the new story that most people are not ready to say yes to, but you just give it a little bit of love so that it can live. And Wendy's going to grace us with some of her poetry tonight, and Gary's going to do a little music behind her. But Wendy, thank you for everything, for everything, for everything.
Oh my God. Thank you, Teresa, for this incredible show. I know it's so hard for you to get me to go in front of a computer, you know. I realized why today, because it's so intense to feel so many people at the same time. I feel totally naked. So now I'm just saying, yes, okay. And when we do it playfully, it puts such a big smile on my face. So, my dear, thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everyone, for being here. My poetry started a flow I don't know how many years ago, in about 96, and I wrote them and I never read them. And then one day some friends of mine read them and said, you got to read these, you know. And then it was really very interesting experience. But one thing about them is, so they're from the past, but they're always becoming new. I'm always updating them. And they have come and taken me closer and closer to what I call the mother. She came to me. She came as a light up there, and there was a demon down there. And I, for years, wondered about that. And I called her Mary, because I was in the church. But I gave her that name. And over she says, never fight about my name. Never come between me and my connection with any of my loved ones. I have a billion names. I have a name of every iota, every frequency of the universe calls to me for life and consciousness. And she is so beautiful. So we have this relationship. And my year in Hawaii was very difficult. Heartbreak, all kinds of sick, everything. And I finally was able to shed my stories about relationship completely. And I put a statue up on top of the cabinets in the kitchen. So in the morning, I would come in and I would look up. And there she would be, and I'd start hearing these words. But most of all, she said, I am your companion for the rest of my life, the rest of your life, maybe her life too, you know, it doesn't matter. And I went, oh, and they went, wait a moment, what does that mean? And then I went, oh, yes. So the poem I would like to share is one of my favorites that she gave me. And it had her name Wendy. The first line was immaculate love, immaculate light, immaculate heart, immaculate Mary. And I would share it, and in some audiences, as soon as I said Mary, I'd feel like the shadow come over half the room. I thought, I gotta find, she wants to help me find something that will touch everybody. And I think I found it. Finally, after years and years, it came through. So I'm going to share this poem. Okay, Gary, where are you? Start some music. Getting hot. Mother Mary is the body of this universe. Our body, the divine feminine, the container. So this is what I found on my desk. Immaculate love. Immaculate light. Immaculate heart. Immaculate Mary. Immaculate light. Immaculate love. Immaculate heart. Immaculate sweetness of God. Immaculate, sweet, sweet nectar of God. So just as this is, feel that nectar. It's a flow that can just flow through our body. Oh, nectar. At heaven's gate I stand, a chalice of love in my hand. I'm coming to touch your hearts so you love one another. At heaven's gate I stand. I open it wide to you. Blessing your hearts, I come to you. Your walk in this world is changing. My flowers now bless your open paths as you walk through your world of sorrow. My love will feed your aching world. I will lead you to my tomorrow. No person's mind has ever seen the sacred glory of my dream. Every tear shall become a crystalline sun. You'll know my love, from which all has come. Immaculate love, immaculate light, immaculate heart, immaculate, sweet, sweet nectar of God. Mm.
Immaculate love. Yeah.
In that immaculate love, she's the divine relationship that births the nectars of life, that feed us into our yes. Amen.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. That was so beautiful. So beautiful. You should see the comments in the chat. You can really feel your presence through the whole. Yeah. I love that Kelly Lynn wrote,
Oh, wow.
every tear becomes a crystalline sun. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
And we bless our tears, drink them, let them fill the ocean.
I don't know if you got to hear the music, Wendy, but you were so resonant with the music that I was supporting you with. And I hope it was just the right amount of soft underneath you, but you're definitely going to want to look at that again, because there was some major resonance between the content, delivery, energy, and words that you spoke. It was beautiful. Thank you.
I felt our relationship. Yes, all of us. Yes. Thank you.
Let's just send this immaculate love, just continue to send it around the planet to all the places on the planet that need it, and especially to every cell in our own bodies so that we can stay present and choosing love in the face of whatever we face. Yeah, so beautiful.
And let's send that immaculate, let's send that immaculate love. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Scott and Debra, I want to hand this over to you for any announcements that you want to make before we kind of close on the main part of the show, and then we'll stay on a little bit longer. Gary and Sarah will share a little bit more of music and inspirations about the transformances, and any of our other presenters that are on might have some final words to share in our after time. So God. Did you lose the sound?
Hey, everybody. What a beautiful, beautiful show this has been. It's been a little challenging for me because my big computer died, kept freezing, so I had to switch to my little laptop. But I've just been so appreciating everybody's amazing contributions. And this is where we want to thank all of our broadcast partners, especially our friends at Unify. Thank you so much for every week carrying us. And also just a reminder, if people can mute themselves, our wonderful presenters, keep yourselves muted, that'd be great. Thank you so much. And there's still time. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube or on Alan Steinfeld's YouTube channel or on any of our broadcast partners, you can still come on into our Zoom room. We're gonna have a really wonderful after show, some wonderful music, perhaps some meditation. It's gonna be beautiful. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and join us. And to continue with the announcements, here's our wonderful partner, Debra Giusti.
Thank you, Scott. And I want to start with some deep appreciation for Teresa, amazing show, for all the presenters, for the incredible energy, the beauty, the message. For Wendy, thank you so much for your support, and your poetry was amazing to cap this off. Thank you so much. Our shows are always amazing, but at the end, I'm just blown away. So thank you all so much. And thank everyone for your donations to Global Coherence Pulse. This is what they do. So please support them. Their link is going to be in our email that you receive on Monday with the replay. Thank you for all the donations to Saturday Night Alive. And please help promote Saturday Night Alive. Best way is your golden word. Word of mouth is the best way. So a good way is we have a promo video that's really fun. I'm going to put those links in the chat room, and it's always in our emails. You can share the promo video, and that will share with people what we do here and what we're about. And also, you can pay it forward. If you love the show and you want to gift it to your friends and family, we have a pay it forward link where you can sign them up. Also, if you'd like to help us create the show in the future, you can volunteer. And that's always in our emails as well. And I'm going to put those in the chat room. And if you'd like to support, like some of our generous sponsors are, and you'd like to sponsor a show and get your message out there, we can do that. And I'll put that in the chat room. And also, it's always in our email. And we are creating a new website that's going to be state of the art. You'll be able to view the show on the website, see all the replays really easily, and locate all of our special events that we're doing now, where we take some of our really top presenters and we give them a really intimate experience with you. So that's going to be coming soon, and that's because of your generous donations that's allowing us to create this forward. And next week's show is going to be amazing as well. I want to honor Jay Mayer and Jan Kaplan with their dedication for the show that they do every single season on Indigenous wisdom. And they're doing it again. This is going to be incredible. The theme is embracing Indigenous wisdom to protect the earth and her people. And Scott, can you show the promo video so people can see what it's going to be about?
Sinchi Sinci doktor sinta tayari.
Please join us August 28th for Saturday Night Alive, embracing the indigenous wisdom needed to protect the earth and her people. Please join us as we honor Lakota People's Law Project and longtime activist Madonna Thunderhawk with Sharon Day, Brooke Medicine Eagle, Uncle Angangak, Michael Lee Hill, with Tasha Martineau live from Line 3 in Minnesota, and Jay Mayer, with musicians Pura Fay, Giselle World, and Ramayan. Register at globalpeacetribe.com to be a part of this very special event.
And thanks again to Jay Mayer and Jan Kaplan, who collaborate with us on this show and sponsor the show. And hello, Jay, giving you so much love for your dedication to support Saturday Night Alive, and especially getting the indigenous wisdom and honoring indigenous elders, and so important for this time. Thank you so much, Jay and Jan. And the beginning of September, we have an incredible show coming up. It is going to be experiencing the alchemy of the divine, human, and the new earth. We are going to be co-hosting with Sananda and Shakina, who are the twin flames. And we've got some incredible people coming on, like Meg Benedicte and other special guests that we're confirming right now. So we've got September planned out. And Scott, would you like to continue the announcements for September?
Absolutely. We've got on September 11th, of course, it's 9/11, the exact day, and it's the exact 20-year anniversary of that very extraordinary day. And so our theme is transforming tragedy into rejuvenation. And we're going to be celebrating 11 days of global unity. It's this amazing organization. We're collaborating with Rick Ulflick, and we're going to have special guest Andrew Harvey and many other wonderful speakers. On September 18th, we're collaborating with Ben Bowler of Unity Earth, and we're celebrating the International Peace Weekend, and we'll be honoring peacemakers and way showers. And then again on September 25th, once again, our beloved Jay Mayer and Jan are bringing together a beautiful show, which will be honoring current spiritual leaders who are transforming our world. So we're really excited about that. Thank you again, Jay and Jan, for all you do to make Saturday Night Alive happen. And then the last announcement is I just want to let people know about tomorrow, my Sacred Sunday show. You know, I do shows every Friday night and every Sunday morning, in addition to Saturday Night Live. And we always bring some of the same people you've met that you really might want to hear more from. And tomorrow is going to be very special. It's going to be all about the healing power of art. You might recall Mariela de la Paz. She's one of our dear friends. We raised money for her last week. We want to continue to raise money for her tomorrow. And she's an amazing artist. So we're going to see her artwork and learn how she's dealing with her cancer journey through how her art is helping her. And then one of our very favorite musical performers, an amazing woman, Nina Gray Porter, will be joining us tomorrow morning live. And Nina is going to be talking about how she uses music to cope with social and racial injustice. That's Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific time. Come on into the Zoom room. Debra's putting the link in there. And our Sunday morning shows are always very informal. We have lots of Q&A, and it's always fun to interact with all of you. So thank you. it's just beautiful to watch how these shows grow and grow and grow. And we are about to go into the after show. And the after show is going to be really, really fun. So much so, and this is a little bit of a fun surprise for Teresa, our wonderful Jay Mayer, who creates these fun videos for us, created a special video just for introducing the after show. Let's take a look at it. That's really fun. Thank you, Jay. And I'm going to turn it over to our wonderful host, Teresa.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. You're always so sweet creating these beautiful little videos that just like bring in the energy, transitions and stuff. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I know that you've been such a big supporter of Saturday Night Alive and really have helped carry this current for so long. So thank you for that. I want to, before we go to Gary and Sarah for some music, I know that Gregg, you have been online all day, and I really want to acknowledge that. And I wondered if you might have some closing words so that you can get off to a good night's sleep and take care of you, because you're so important. But I wanted to come to you. And who's that beautiful?
Well, this
hairy
is
cat?
this is where I have to go. The door to the studio has been closed all day, and they miss me.
Ah, beautiful.
So it's dinner time and it's
Yeah.
yoga time. They're missing. We have a yoga ritual every night at 10 o'clock. We do our yoga together, and
Nice.
they're waiting for me. So Teresa, I just want to echo everything that has been said tonight. It's such an honor to share this time. It actually went by very quickly. And I want to thank you and Scott and Debra and the team for this extraordinary vessel that you've created for human hearts, human souls, and the community that comes with this. It's always important, but it's vital now that we have somewhere where we can be to feel that we're not alone and we're not supported, because it's easy to fall into that illusion if you live in the mainstream world.
Yeah.
So thank you for creating an alternative to the illusion that is the reality. And the reality is that we are one, that we are connected through our hearts. A new world is emerging, and we have this opportunity to reflect in the world that we're creating what we believe to be true in our hearts. It's a rare and precious moment. And thank you for sharing it, and thank you for inviting me into this very sacred space. And Jess, if you're still watching, or if you watch later, wow, what a really, really powerful piece of music. And my heart is still singing. So thank you for making it possible to be here tonight. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gregg. Have a sweet night and have fun with those kitties and everybody.
They're hungry kitties.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. And Marshall, I'm just sensitive to you. Are you all right to hang out just for a little while? I'd love to bring your voice in one last time. Okay, great. And Michael, I know you are in jet lag mode, and I just want to check in to see if it would be nice to have you have some closing words, and then you can stay or go if you'd like.
Jet lag simply means that I'm freed up from any time constraints.
Oh, good.
I'm sort of floating in the now.
Okay, good. All right. Well, let's just go. So, Scott and Debra have made this extra time for those of you who are still hanging around, and we have almost 300 people still hanging around. So it means that somehow this last couple of hours has been nourishing for you. And I'm so grateful, because that's what we intended in the beginning, that this exploration of the new science and the new story and the new song would just help to reinforce our capacities, ignite our capacities to keep choosing love over fear, and to keep opening our hearts in the face of what's coming, and to have that fiery hope that we talked about with Michael, to just navigate through these times. So thank you for staying. And I wanted to turn it over to Gary and Sarah and to talk a little bit about their transformisms, and to also play some music and to just offer your heart. This is a kind of hangout time for us, just to have a fun time together. And then after you guys share, we'll just open it up to the rest of our presenters to see if they have any extra words of wisdom they want to offer. So,
Dara?
I'm here.
Hi.
Gary.
What do you want to do with this wonderful moment in time? I had a thought of playing beautiful and audio and doing spotlighting on people, but maybe you want to do something live or just talk about it. I don't know.
Well, I did have an idea of doing something live.
Okay.
So shall we do it?
All right, let's do it.
All right, let me plug myself in.
Goodness gracious. Great
Yes, quite.
balls of fire. There we go. All right. Yeah.
Let's respond to all the messages that we've been listening to. And let's right now have so much love for ourselves and for each other that we are bound to thrive. Let's have so much love for ourselves that we can play with what's going on, that we can laugh with each other and make light when sometimes it's so tempting to be drawn down. Let's have so much love for ourselves that we appreciate, we can see the world, we can feel the world, we can live in the world with grace, with joy, with playfulness, and let's bring together all that we've been listening to through this last few hours. Let's integrate it in our hearts and our bodies and our worlds. And let's take it forward with us. Share with others. And share our appreciation of each other in these moments that we have spent together.
Well, we've never done that before.
No, it's a little bit lighter than some things. A little bit.
I love it. And we'll have time for more. And I wanted to take a minute to share something for both you, Gary and Sarah. Sarah, you have this webinar series that's coming up, and I wonder if you want to share something about that. I think it's important that we come together and we learn how to bring this voice through. So tell us about this webinar.
Yes, I reached a point a little more than a month ago. I just said enough is enough. I had spent so much time trying to figure out what's going on in the world at the moment. And I realized that whatever I figured out, it wasn't going to provide the answer or the way forward. And so it became a kind of turning point for me. And I decided that I want to work with people to be on that leading edge, on that edge of the unknown, because it's the only place that I believe will take us to a story for humanity that we really feel that we would love to live. I don't know any other way to do it. I think we have a lot of knowledge, but I think with all the knowledge we have, it's just not enough. It takes us to be in that wild place and to be able to live right in the space where we don't have all the answers and where we can bring the best of what we have, but we can open to all that we don't know and that lies in the future ahead of us. And so I made a free webinar series. I've run 3 of them already. I'm just about to start another one on the 31st of August, American time. It'll be the 30th in Europe. And it'll be 4 weeks, completely free. And we're going to just start to explore the real inner technology of creating a new story. Because it's easy to talk about it, but to actually do it, as Gregg said, is a genuine challenge, because we have to change the stories that are kind of primed into our being. We have to have the courage to speak over and over again and to live and to breathe a different story. And so that's what we're going to be doing together. Thank you, Teresa. You're on mute, Teresa.
I'm just putting the link in the chat because people are asking for it. So I'm doing that right now. And I agree with you 100%. You know, we've been having conversations with different groups of people, and it seems like we're all turning our attention away from being informed about what's going on, like a little bit of that, but not enough that it's distracting us from actually what our main purpose is. And that's going inward, tuning into the uniqueness of ourselves and understanding the new story that's emerging and living it. So I'm so glad that you're making that choice. And I think those turns of our attention and how we're using our time and energy are essential right now.
I am
So
absolutely
beautiful.
with you. Thank you, Teresa. Yes, totally essential.
I'm going to join in. I think that's so perfect. And Gary, you have your Saturday Soul Song Saturdays, and it's
Soul
another
Song celebrations, whatever they're called. Yeah. And you know, I want to make this really clear. The Soul Song process is available for an individual or a couple or a family or a group of people working together, and to create a soul song together that you guys will craft with me helping you, and it becomes something that you can play forever. It's a wonderful, it generally takes about an hour and 15 minutes for individuals and a couple and maybe 2 hours for a team, but it's a beautiful experience, and everyone that has done it has really, really gotten a lot of value from it. And I just love you to join me on it. So Gary, it's wisdomoftheworld.com/soul song is the promo I don't see, but that's okay. Just go to Soul Song at the Facebook group also, and that'll give you all the information. And yeah, if we got to resonate it in order to create it. And the frequency at which we vibrate is the frequency at which we create. So that's what the goal for Soul Song is all about.
So beautiful. Well, stay on. We'll have one last thing from you, Gary and Sarah. Maybe there's a song from you, Gary. Maybe there's something, we'll see. But we'll round off. We'll close out our hour with the two of you.
May I just say, Jess, God, if you're still there, what a luminous, luminous offering. I just thank you so much for the gift you gave us tonight.
So beautiful. She's not with us. She had to go because she was taking care of a friend, and she chose to come on for us. She worked it out, and she was there for that time, gave her 100%, and then it's gone. So we'll send her some big love and with whatever she's facing tonight. Let's go to Wendy. You're not muted right now, so I'm going to go to you first, and I'm going to see if you have anything that you want to share, just some words into the space right now.
Gratitude. Just, I'm so grateful for gratitude, for our shared grateful heart, because I know that gratitude opens the door. And I'm so grateful for all of your generosity. Because if ever there's a stuck moment, if we give something, a penny, a hug, it opens the door. Yeah. And I'm just really grateful to be here. Thank you, all of you.
We loved your poem. So beautiful when you share those. They're so resonant and so deep. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. You look beautiful. How about Michael? I'd love to, I mean, you started us off in the beginning after Jude, and you've been sitting in this field and kind of taking it in and sharing your love. And I just would love to hear your voice and what you might have to share now with us.
Thank you, Teresa. I just wanted to add to what Wendy said. For me, gratitude is how we say yes and thank you to life. It opens up doors. And I thank you, Wendy. In listening to Gary and Sarah, words came to me as this old world that is fundamentally flawed because we really didn't understand the true story begins to fall away. It's easy to get distracted by the din of the dissolution that will be taking place. And so as Sarah and Jeff were giving of their gifts, I heard the words, stand firm together, stand softly together, stand kindly together, stand lovingly together, because this is the stance. This is how we stand to sing in the new song. And it comes from the heart. And what I've realized over the last couple of years in working on stretching and practicing, muscle heart exercises, is that my heart was constricted. It was tight and it needed to be loosened up, and so that it could be joyful. And joyful doesn't mean ignoring the pain. It means that we understand the pain as the result of choices that are not in harmony. And I loved what Marshall said about moving from harm to harmony. And I think that's what it is, because it's the harmony of the spheres. The song of the universe is already a perfect song. And our task is to listen and to amplify that song through the human heart, through our actions, so that the love of the Creator becomes the new note that creates, if you like, this new longed for society, which is based on mutual respect, based on love. And it's not about using more words to describe it. It's as Sarah says, we're doing it now. Now's the time to manifest what's been germinating on the inside for eons. And it's reached a point of quickening where it's ready to burst forth. So the presence of a greater love is waiting to be born within every human heart, is waiting to be born within the one human heart. And those are all the words that can be shared from me at this time. Gratitude to all of us. May we rise in love together and lift all life with us, and be lifted by the presence of a greater love that holds us continuously in its embrace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. The presence of a greater love is being born in the human heart. It really is. I can feel it. We can feel it. And it's such a tender and beautiful thing. And you express it so, so beautifully. Thank you. Thank you so much. More to come. More to come. How about Marshall? I'd love to bring your voice in, especially after that. Causing a harmony. Let's do it.
That we are. That we are.
Right now.
Right now. Boy, so many beautiful expressions just in this little after time. It's almost challenging to add to it. Because there's such purity to all that's been said. And I guess what was coming up for me is to acknowledge that the human family is really going through the dark night of the soul, and the collective shadow is just surging up to the surface, and the deceptions and the corruptions and all those kinds of things are being revealed, and are going to be even more so in ways that are going to be shocking for a lot of people, and challenging and disturbing, and and ultimately that's a really good thing because we need to actually see all this stuff for what it is, and awaken to not only being able to perceive and acknowledge and see what we don't want to choose, but then for us in a larger and larger collective scale to say, well, if that's not what it is, what is it that we want? And that's what we're doing here, of course. And that's what we are readying for our beautiful family to have as our offering. And the songs, the science, the story, it's so important now. And in that, in this time of this great transformation and transition, where all this shadow play is just coming up, I just want to invite us to celebrate that. Actually, to celebrate that we're in this time. It's not going to be the way it goes for eons to come. we feel that, we know that in our hearts, and that we can celebrate that we're in this time now, and bless it, not engage with that which we know is what is falling away, and create that which is new, whether it's the story, the science, the technologies, the systems, the communications, the relationships that are deeper in our hearts and true to our clear minds and pure hearts. So with that, I celebrate all that is happening, and I also put my attention on that which is emerging and new, because that's what we're doing together to create that world.
Yeah, that's so key, is to trust that the chaos is part of the process, that it needs to break down in order for the new to emerge, and to place our attention to what's emerging beautifully inside each of us. And thank you so much, Marshall, for being on, and for all of the years that we have been journeying together, and have continued to say yes to this one great love, and to let that express into all the things we do. I love you so much.
Yes is a constant.
Yes, it's a constant.
I love you too. I love you all.
Well, Gary popped in the chat that he has the perfect thing to follow what you're saying. So I'm turning it over to Gary.
Yay.
And Marshall, this will be like a whole homework week with you. But if we had the opportunity to spotlight individuals other than the people on the panelists, I love that. But one of the things I've been doing is taking the hardest track that I had to come up with during the scoring of Thrive was when the world was going to hell in a handbasket in July of 2020. And I had to write the final cue, remember, Marshall, of the uplifting, we can do this, life will win, and everything. The world was like, I was watching way too much media. And I really took a lot for me to turn off the media and say, what is Foster and Kimberly really imagining? And I remembered heaven on earth can only be created when we vibrate at that frequency. And so I just was for days kind of feeling, what is this music? And got to support everybody feeling we've made it, we've done it. So I'm going to play the final cue from Thrive before the credits. And I want to encourage people to imagine this new story as not only a love story, but a triumph from a cliffhanger. Like we did it. And so we can all vibrate at the frequency of we did it, and life did it, and love did it. Love came through us and did it. And so it's 4 minutes long, and it's designed to, when you listen to it without the words over it, it's designed to uplift your frequency to the yes of life. And so I'm just going to share it, and I encourage you to do whatever, including move your body, whatever brings you joy as you listen to this music of yes. Oh shit. Mute my phone. I just love when we listen together it's another way to cultivate aligned vibrational intelligence. It's just, we don't listen to things anymore, right? So thank you for letting me share that triumphant download that was inspired by Foster and Kimberly's sequel to Thrive. And please see it if you haven't, thriveon.com. Anyway, I thought it'd be a perfect way to practice what the vibration of triumph and love conquers all sounds like. At least I hope that's what it sounds like.
Oh yeah,
That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
totally brought it.
That's beautiful.
Goosey bumps.
Yeah. I'm gonna spotlight a couple of people, and so Wild Monk Jerry is like, yes, he's been on the show with us all night. I know he's been sponsoring some shows, and I just wanted to give you a moment to bring your yes in.
So great that everybody wants to say yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what an inspirational show tonight. I love the definition of inspiration: to breathe life into.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Thank you for joining. And Jay, I wanted to give you a moment to add your love and energy into the space and maybe share a little bit about next week's show.
Well, I must say, it's almost every week I'm going, well, that was our best show. But I'm sure tonight, without a doubt, is, the best that I can remember. And we've had some outstanding shows. So yes is the first word of power, in my writings and stuff. Yes, and gratitude. Thank you are the next two words of power. So I'm just thankful to be in a position to sponsor some shows, and the Indigenous show next week is the first show where I'm fully hands-on, and it's going to be really special with Uncle, I can't pronounce his name, but and Gog, and Jan can pronounce his name, and Gog, and he is an Eskimo that came from a village with 4 huts. And they are the closest thing in Greenland to the Arctic Circle in the North Pole. And his wisdom is so profound and is so full of joy and so pure. We just have a great lineup. We're going to be talking about Line 3. Speaking of lineups, we have a live broadcast from the Lakota Peoples Project for Line 3. And we're going to get some real timely updates on what's going on. We got a communication that the Congress is sending a bill to the president, to halt construction of Line 3. So this is really important. All your blessings are they count. This is a time right now. The Global Peace Tribe is a force for good on the planet, and it counteracts a lot of the negativity, and we're all part of it. Everyone here is so important to the success of the Global Peace Tribe.
Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you. It sounds like a powerful, powerful show, and I'm glad this is the first one that you're taking full responsibility for. I'm excited to see what happens with that. It's good. It's like a real responsibility to kind of carry in, and it's going to be fun to see what you create. And Sean, I see that you've been on with us this whole time. Beautiful smiley face and just kind of breathing in and out. And I wondered if you wanted to bring your voice in.
Oh, thank you. I'm just enjoying all the amazing healing energy today. Normally I don't come on here. I like to promote it on Facebook, but I felt guided, and I'm so glad I did, to be around all the amazing healing energies today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your presence. Yeah. Well, we're just coming to the end. I wonder, Scott or Debra, Debra's already gone, but Scott, if you want to say something before we close with maybe a little music or a little bit from Sarah and Gary to close us out.
Yeah, thank you. Again, just what a beautiful show. Thank you, Teresa, for all the work you do. Thank you, Wendy Grace, for your support. And thank you, everybody, for watching. I think the only thing I want to remind people of is, if you're enjoying the show, which based on the comments, almost all of you are, please share this. This is how we grow our audience. So share it out. If you're on Facebook, share it on your wall, share it in your group. We also will have a YouTube version of the show that'll show up probably on Monday. So share this out with everybody. That's how we grow. Thank you for all of your contributions, contributing to Teresa. In fact, speaking of that, let's one more time, I want to bring up the Q code. It's kind of like our fun new toy that we get to play with. So a reminder that if you haven't donated yet to Teresa, a wonderful way to do it is by taking your phone, putting it on camera mode, go up and put it real close. And what will happen is you'll see a little bar that goes up at the top of your cell phone, and it says click here, and that's what opens you to the browser that takes you to where you can donate to Global Coherence Pulse. What an amazing show. Let's support Teresa. She works so tirelessly to make this show and to make Global Coherence Pulse happen. Her Islands of Coherence project and all that she does. So let's really support Teresa. And by the way, she did not know that I was going to do this again. That's how she turned it over to me. So let's all support Teresa. And thank you, everybody, for being a part of our show, being part of the Global Peace Tribe. And every one of you is playing an important role in this planetary transformation, in this creation of a new paradigm. So thank you, each and every one of you. I'll turn it back over to Teresa.
Thank you so much, Scott. And thank you for everybody that made a contribution to the Global Coherence Pulse. And that's how we're making this possible, is that everybody gives a little bit and we can make something happen. And we have a generous donor who offered a $2,000 matching grant. So we're hoping that we can raise that money and get that matching grant in so that we can cover some of the expenses to do this and keep pulsing the planet with more love. Yes. So Sarah has a little something queued up, I think, for us, Gary said. That would be the perfect closing for our time together. So Sarah, I want to turn it over to you and thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate your presence and all that you're doing and look forward to your webinar.
Thank you, Teresa. Yes, I'd like to play something which is one of the very early pieces that Gary and I created together. And it's really dedicated to you, to every single person who's here. It would be good if everybody could be muted. Do you know how beautiful you are? Have you ever stopped to look at yourself? To see yourself in your truth? In the clarity of who you are? In your magnificence? If only you could see what I can see. If only you could know what I know of you. You would stand before yourself in awe. You would see yourself you would feel yourself. You would know yourself. And so I invite you in this moment to see how beautiful you are. to see yourself in clarity, in simplicity, in your true nature. I invite you to see yourself. You are so beautiful.
We are so beautiful.
We are so beautiful. That was perfect. That was so perfect. And look at us. We're so beautiful. I want to take like a screen grab of this gallery view I have right now. And I just want to thank everyone who joined us tonight, all of the beautiful comments. If you want to save the chat, I know there were beautiful links shared and you might want to go back tomorrow. There's 3 little dots next to the smiley face at the very bottom where you post your message. And if you click on those 3 little dots, there's a link to save the chat and it will download on your computer. And so you have all of the links and you can access all of these wonderful people and connect with them. And especially when you need it, when you're feeling a moment where you're just struggling to choose love, to just rise above the challenges, we can tap into each other. We can tap into this moment we're sharing right now. We can do whatever we can to bring ourselves back to that place. So thank you so much. How do we share the chat? So there's a little, does everybody see that? Is it just me? Down in the corner, down where you put your message, there's 3 little dots next to a smiley face. And if you click on that, it'll open up a little box and the top thing says, save the chat.
Teresa, I think that's only for presenters. I think that it's only for presenters. But what I'm happy to do is if anybody wants a copy of the chat, send me a Facebook private message with your email address and I'll email it to you. That's what I've had to do recently.
Thank you.
Yeah, and actually it turns out that Jay made a special good night video for tonight. So we actually, and I loved what you just played, Sarah. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Just your voice, your choice of visuals, of course, Gary's music. It's an amazing combination. So I just appreciate the incredible artistry, to use a Jess magic term. So this is going to be good night, everybody. You just go to, if you want the chat, go to Facebook, private message me. I'm the only Scott Catamas on the planet. I'm easy to find. Give me your email address. And we're going to close with this sweet, short little video from Jay. Please do come on to Sacred Sunday show tomorrow morning, and we'll see all of you soon.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful being with you all.
Okay, here we go. I love that little angel taking us away. I will go to gallery view so they can wave.
Good night, everybody.